아, 오늘 고등학교 동창회지? 내가 같이 가줄까? 그래, 가자. Today I wanted to go over a few common Korean contractions. Basically, these are simply shorter ways of writing grammar and words in Korean, but they're common enough that you should learn them. Note that these are all optional, but commonly used. Don't feel like you have to use them, but be able to understand them when they come up. Now, most of these are fine for beginners to learn, but I'd recommend skipping any of them for which you haven't already learned their basic forms. So let's get started with a few of the most basic and most common contractions. These three might be some of the most commonly found. 저는 becomes 전, 나는 becomes 난, and 너는 becomes 넌. When you're working with the topic marker, 은 or 는, sometimes it becomes just a nian if the word it comes after ends in a vowel. Since 저, 나, and 너 all end with a vowel, it became popular to use them in this way. Here's another example. This one is a combination of the location marker, 에, with the topic marker to become en. This contraction is a bit more casual though, so I wouldn't recommend using this one in any formal situation. With the object marker, we get some different contractions. Just like with the topic marker, when the object marker comes after a vowel, it's sometimes shortened to just the 릴. So in this case, 저를 becomes 절, 나를 becomes 날, and 너를 becomes 널. Here are some more. 뭐, what, can be shortened to 뭘 when it's used with the object marker. 것, thing, becomes 걸 when used with the object marker. And it becomes 개 when used with the subject marker. And finally, it can also become 건 when used with the topic marker. And 것 also has another contraction in some cases, 거. Here are a few examples. 이거, 그거, and 저거. But 것 can't always shorten to 거. For example, these two forms will stay the same, so I'd only recommend learning 이거, 그거, and 저거 for the time being. Some words become short when they're used with the particle 에게. Here are a few of those. 저에게 can become 제게, 나에게 can become 내게, and 너에게 can become 내게. And yes, those two sound very similar, but when used in context, a Korean will be able to know which one you mean. So those are the most common and basic Korean contractions, but here are a few more that are still useful. From here on in the video, this lesson will get slightly more intermediate, so if you haven't yet learned one of these original forms, feel free to skip over it for now and learn it later. These three words are casual, so they shouldn't be used in any situation where you want to sound polite, or they'd come across as rude. But they're fairly common. You can use 예 to mean this person, and 개 or 제 to mean that person. What you're really saying is this kid or that kid, so it's a common slang way to refer to other people, kind of like saying dude in English. So let's go on to some common grammar contractions. If you've never seen these forms before, check out my video on quotations here to review them. Now these forms are commonly used when you're quoting people or yourself. The first form, Tagua, is the form you'd use when making statements. 야고 for questions, 자고 for suggestions, and 라고 for commands. Here's a quick example. 빨리 오라고 했어 could become 빨리 오랬어. I said to come here quickly. Here are a few more common grammar contractions. Note that these only apply when you're using the verb 하다. A verb ending in 하게 can be shortened to 개, 하지 to 치, and 하고 to 코. Here's an example. 그걸 원치도 않아. I don't even want that. The full version of this sentence would be 그것을 원하지도 않아. But be careful not to overuse any of these contractions. Although it's true that they're commonly seen, using a lot of contractions in a sentence can sound like you're speaking too casually. So be extra careful to avoid them when you're in a situation where you need to be polite. And there are more contractions than these, but these are some of the most common ones that you'll see. And that's all for today. You can also learn more about what we've gone over today, as well as even more useful contractions, in the extended PDF version of this lesson, which you can download for free here on my website. And as always, I recommend that you watch this video again, and then practice by making your own sentences using what we've learned. And remember that new videos are posted here every week, so click subscribe and follow along. 그럼 다음에 또 봐. 반갑습니다. 저는 빌리라고 합니다. 다 공유일 줄 알았는데. 우리 어떻게 만났냐고요? 그게 동립 moon, 혹립 moon, or dogrib moon. What are the most common errors you see from people who are learning Korean?